Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick, and today I will be talking about Dalmatian crested geckos. Let's get right into it. Okay, so with me I have one of our pairs of Dalmatian crested geckos. Now they're actually in a trio with another gecko, but she is not a Dalmatian, and in a future video I'll explain why she is in this trio and not with a different group. But first, let's start with Waylon. So this is Waylon. Very pretty. Waylon, his morph, to me, I would say he's either a patternless, and he has Dalmatian spots, because remember, Dalmatian is a trait. Not a lot of Dalmatian spots. Definitely not like a super Dalmatian. Okay, so back to Waylon. As you can see, he has a good amount of Dalmatian spots, nothing crazy. Now, what's really crazy about Waylon is that a lot of his babies, they end up looking like super Dalmatians, or they have like a ton of ink blotches and they get tons of spots as they grow. Waylon also, he doesn't really have any other traits in him. He's just a really pretty patternless Dalmatian. This right here is one of his girlfriends, and this is Helga. Now Helga is, I still would say a patternless. Look at that cute face. A patternless with some Dalmatian spots on her. And now I'm going to show you a baby. I'm going to show you guys a baby that these two actually produce together, and you'll kind of be able to see it, but their babies are almost prettier than they are. I like them mainly because they're patternless and they have a few Dalmatian spots on them. When they fire up, you can see a bit of a difference. And now that I'm looking at this, yeah, Waylon is in shed right now, actually. So I'll put him up in a second. That's why you can see, we'll see if we can show you that. So this little area here is definitely in shed, and I can see the skin peeling off. So he'll look a little different, but these guys are just patternless, normal Dalmatians. Nothing crazy about them. They're just Dalmatian patternless, like I said. I love it. I love the color. It's simple, and the babies they produce are awesome looking, so I'm gonna show you a couple of those right now. Okay, so this is Bob. And if I can get Bob to stay, there we go. Okay, so Bob has some awesome portholes on both sides, and on the back, stay still, buddy. Just stay still. You can kind of see on the back there, tons of spots. That awesome patternless coloration, same deal as like Waylon and Helga, and awesome like little, so these are not, some of these would be called ink blotches, the other ones would be called oil spots because they're like a little faded, but regardless, it's just a form of being a Dalmatian. And look at that tail, tons of spots. And this one actually recently sold, which is awesome, and it's gonna be a crazy killer adult when it, you know, if you ever want to breed it, once it gets to that point, this one's going to be awesome. So I love it. It's as simple as Waylon and Helga, and it kind of pulls from their best characteristics into one. And when it's fired up, it's even crazier because it's good one, buddy. It's super white, like the white is even whiter, and the dark gets so dark, it's incredible. But this is Bob, and that's their baby. So now let's move on to Mercury. And Mercury is one of our breeder super Dalmatian males. None of his babies have hatched yet, but he is gorgeous, and he definitely gets the job done with his females. So we do have a lot of eggs coming from him very soon. But he is also just a patternless with tons of ink blotches, the oil spots, and Dalmatian. So like an ink blotch is going to be the bigger spots you see, which is also kind of the Dalmatian characteristic too. It's just the phases of it, like I said before. But this is Mercury, our breeder male super Dalmatian, super pretty. And let's get our final Dalmatian, which is one of our new females that you guys met last video. Okay guys, so this is a crested gecko that we mentioned last video. We got it from Canvas Cresties. This is our pink Dalmatian, and she has a lot of red spots on her, which makes me think, actually no, I know for a fact she comes from Altitude Exotics confetti line as well. So this is an awesome gecko. Come here, girly. This is an amazing gecko, awesome. Can't wait to see what her and Mercury produce together next season. I'm super excited to find that out. Okay, girl, okay. But this, to me, again, a patternless Dalmatian gecko. So while I have a ton of geckos that have spots on them, the only things that I consider Dalmatians are typically patternless Dalmatians. Because that's what people like the most in Dalmatians. I like my spots. I like my Harlequins to have spots. I like a lot of other things to have spots in them because I really like spots. But when it comes to like what I call a true Dalmatian is either patternless or even a bicolor with a ton of spots on them. So that's kind of what I would describe a Dalmatian as. And Pamela here, being that awesome, you know, potential confetti line, maybe she produces some confetti babies one day. That'd be awesome too. This is what I look for in a Dalmatian. When we got this is, you know, me and Megan were like, wow, this is awesome. Like, this really takes the Dalmatian projects to the next level. Because now you have Mercury as a super Dalmatian, and you have someone equally as awesome to pair him with and to hope to produce awesome babies with. But that kind of gets off the subject and kind of infringes on breeding plans in future videos even. So that's it for this video. That's our Dalmatians. That's how I morph my Dalmatians. So you saw the difference between a normal Dalmatian and then the more the closer to super Dalmatian and different variations of being a Dalmatian, because this one has red spots and normal spots. You saw big spots, you saw little spots, you got to see it all. So that's kind of like, in my collection, that's the Dalmatians we have that are best representations of the actual gene itself, or the trait itself, and then the morphs that went along with them, which was either a bicolor or a patternless. So, with all that said, that's the video. Until next time, stay safe and stay positive, guys.